Alison, thank you so much for joining us today.
That's a pleasure.
Now, we know that this year's State of the Nation address was certainly something that the entire country was focused in on, but often we weren't seeing what we wanted to see. And you've been fighting this out in court, your organization, along with the Right to Know campaign and various media institutions. So why don't you just set the stage for us by describing what happened in court on Monday, and yeah, if you could start us off there.
Well, the matter obviously took some time to get to court. There were a number of preliminary urgent matters which we tried to get rulings on, and the court really said, look, let's ventilate this fully, let's have a proper set of papers, full heads of argument, and we'll deal with it relatively quickly for courts. This is actually quite soon. And really what was happening was counsel for the applicants, our lawyer, getting up and really saying, look, it's an open parliament in terms of the constitution, in terms of the legislation. It's an open parliament, it's the people's parliament, and we have the right to see what is happening in that parliament. And you can't cut the feed and you can't editorialize the feed. So in other words, you can't just focus in on the speaker's chair or the speaker's hat, no matter how fetching a hat it is. And you have to really look at what's happening in the whole chamber. And counsel for Parliament got up and argued essentially that they are there to look after the dignity of Parliament, and that it undermines the dignity of Parliament if we see our members of Parliament behaving badly. Because our answer is, well, actually it undermines the dignity of those individual members of Parliament, which is their decision. But for us, as the public, we're entitled to see what is happening in the chamber, and that at very least there should be a wide-angle shot on the chamber when Parliament is in session.
Now, this isn't the first time that we've heard this argument of undermining the dignity of Parliament, and in fact, one of the more salacious headlines to come out of the court proceedings on Monday was a quote that Parliament is not the Jerry Springer show.
Indeed.
But of course, even if it is the Jerry Springer show, your organisation believes that South Africans should have access to that footage.
Well, ironically enough, the reason we know about the Jerry Springer show is because it's shown on television. So it's a rather bad example of to use. If you look at what has happened in Parliament, these are very contentious issues. Some people argue one way, some the other. The Speaker has one version, the minority parties have another version, and it's a public space in which we are, as the electorate, as the people who vote members of Parliament in, entitled to see how they behave. It may affect the way we vote. It may affect the way we see members of Parliament. I think when most South Africans talk about honourable members of Parliament, they do so with a bit of a smile. That's about how people conduct themselves in Parliament. Part of the dignity of Parliament is that it is open. It's a fundamental part of our understanding as South Africans of what the rule of law is, that laws should be made and debates held in the open, in public, and that what is really undermining of the dignity of institutions is that proceedings will be conducted in secret and in smoke-filled rooms away from the public eye. That's really what is actually undignified.